Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys all about preparing for a natural labor and delivery and possibly even a home birth delivery. I'm sorry, I kind of have a cold or a cough or whatever, and my voice is kind of scratchy and going hoarse. So if you just bear with me, hopefully I can get through this without losing it. But when I was pregnant with Selah, my first daughter, it was really hard for me to find videos on YouTube on how to prepare for natural labor and home birth. I found lots of actual home birth videos and natural labor videos, but how to prepare for that was kind of scarce, and I just wanted to make this for anybody that is contemplating doing a natural birth and natural labor, or maybe you're doing a home birth and you kind of want to see what to expect and how to prepare for that. So that's what's going to be in today's video. Okay, so the first step in preparing for natural child labor is discovering your why. Why do you want to go through natural child labor? Is it because your mother did it, which was my first main reason whenever I thought about ever having kids, is my mom did it, so I can do it? Is it because maybe you just want to experience the whole thing? Maybe you don't like to be numb? Maybe it's because of the health benefits of not having an epidural or any type of drugs in your system while you give birth that could possibly affect your baby as well. So figure out your why. The more and more I researched on natural childbirth, I discovered that my why was just reinforced, and I felt more supported. I felt braver. I felt more capable of actually doing this without having any kind of pain medication or any kind of I think that I'm not really sure what those medications are called or drugs are called that kind of help take the edge off. I know now that I think the gas is used to help calm me down, so I didn't have any of that. So I just as I researched, I just became more and more confident that this was the path that I wanted for me and my baby. So the second thing to prepare for natural child labor is to figure out where you're going to have your child. I know that for me, home birth sounded amazing because I felt like I had more freedom and more choices as to how I wanted my birth experience. The next option for me was a maternity ward or a maternity center. There was one in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is I'm in Tennessee, and at the time it looked absolutely luxurious, like a spa, like a hotel or a spa, and I thought that could be a possibility for me to have a baby if I had decided not to do it at home. That ended up not being an option. They ended up closing down for other reasons. I mean, nothing bad went wrong. I think it was an insurance thing that they couldn't get supported. And then I think the next option would be a hospital. And I know that a lot of hospitals nowadays have certain rooms and even more possibilities of helping you to labor naturally and even deliver naturally. So figure out where you want to have your baby and research it. What are the risks? What are the rewards? Where do you feel like you would be the most comfortable giving birth at? For me, I felt like I would be the most comfortable at home, and I was so thankful to have that option. I know that in some other states that's not really an option, but for me that was an option, and I had a healthy pregnancy, a healthy baby, all leading up to the birth. So home birth for me was perfect. So I guess this kind of goes along with where you're going to have your baby, but who will be delivering your baby. I had a midwife, a certified nurse midwife, and she was absolutely amazing. She made me feel confident and involved, and she always let me know, my choices, and informed me of, this is the risk for this is the reward for this is something that you can do, this is something you cannot do. So I was just really thankful for that, because when you do choose to do a natural childbirth, you want somebody that supports you, but you also want somebody that, in case of an emergency, because there's always a possibility of something going wrong, that they know what they're doing and they are going to take matters into their hands to the best of their knowledge to save you and your baby if something was to go wrong. So they're certified nurse midwives. Then you could use your OBGYN doctor. So depending on who you choose, you have to make your meetings, your prenatal visits with them. So I remember first calling when I found out I was pregnant, my OBGYN, and I was just like, I just found out I'm pregnant, I took a positive pregnancy test, but I plan on using a midwife. Do I need to come in there or see the midwife? And their first thing was, well, if you're not going to deliver with us, then you don't need to come see us. So, figure out who you want, do your research, especially if it's a midwife. My midwife had delivered over 2,000 babies whenever she delivered for Selah, and so she had a lot of experience. She, had doctors that backed her up and things like that, so I felt very safe with her delivering my baby. Another thing that I recommend if you are going to do a natural childbirth is to, I'm sorry guys, I feel like I have fuzz all over my face. So is to go to classes. And I know that some people just think, oh, it'll come naturally, and it does, but it's so nice to prepare your mind and to kind of know what's coming. You may not know like the actual feeling that you're going to feel, but to have some type of knowledge of, okay, once this happens, then this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and this is going to happen. So that really helped me, and it also will help your spouse for them not to be so shocked. So I really encourage going to a natural childbirth and labor class, because we learned so much about my body, about the baby's body, how things work to get the baby out, what happens when the baby's out, and things like that. So it was very informative, and I'm so glad that we did that. I don't know if we're going to do it with this one. We had talked about it, so we just haven't made a decision yet, because like literally it was less than a year and a half ago that we went through these classes. So I do feel like I am kind of knowledgeable. I would like to read some more books just to kind of get me in the mind frame of delivering again, but yeah, I definitely recommend a class if you've never had a natural childbirth before. Okay, so one of the things that I think is a necessity, whether you deliver there or not, is water. Water was absolutely amazing whenever I started contracting. So when my midwife showed up, I was 6 centimeters dilated. I was in full-on labor. I was going to give birth that night. And the first thing that she did after checking me was go and set up our the birthing room, which ended up being our master bedroom, and she set up the pool. And they put warm water, so it has to be skin temperature, so that when the baby, if you were to deliver in the water, the baby isn't shocked with too hot or too cold. So she would check the temperature of the water. But I'm telling you guys, like, my contractions went from like an 8 to a 9 on the scale of 1 to 10 of being pretty rough to like a 5. As soon as I sat in that water, it just helped me relax. It took away some of the pain. My midwife said it's the midwife's epidural, so it was just so much more bearable to be in the water and just labor in that. So I know in hospitals most of the time they won't let you deliver in water. Home births probably will if your midwife is comfortable with delivering in water. You cannot deliver the placenta in water just because they want to check and make sure that the bleeding is not over. You're not over bleeding. Make sure everything is good, and it's really hard to detect in the water after the baby has already come out. So yeah, that is definitely something that I would recommend that you at least labor in. I ended up not being able to deliver my daughter in the water. I'm hoping that this time is a little different. She came forehead first, so I really just needed like some help and some extra hands to like hold legs and just give me some energy, because by the time I was ready to push, it had been, you know, several hours from the day before where I had actually started having contractions and I hadn't gotten really great sleep and things like that. So the water did help with the pain and helping me to relax. I was able to sleep between contractions to get a little bit of rest. So hopefully this next child I will be able to actually deliver in the water. But even if that's not something that you dream of delivering in the water, it's still going to help with any pain, and it's going to help to relax you. And I mean, guys, it took so much pain and just kind of like the chaos that's going through your head, and it just like calmed it down. So I would definitely recommend water. Another thing that I would recommend for a natural childbirth is learning your breathing technique that you want to do. They recommend in the classes that you keep it low. I kind of like, not really hummed, but like I was like that. And it helped me get through the contraction. I did try a couple of times like not making that noise, and it was just like, okay, can't do this. So you need to be able to get into another place in your head of, you know, focusing on something else. And for me, it was that low humming noise that helped me get through each contraction. Another thing is, if you don't have a supportive spouse or possibly even somebody else like your mom or your best friend in there with you, I would definitely recommend a doula. I didn't have a doula, but a doula is somebody that comes along and they kind of assist your midwife or your doctor in just helping you to labor. They will do massages. They're kind of like your advocate, because when you're like in that much intense moments, like contractions and especially your first time, like your mind just kind of plays tricks on you and you're just kind of like, okay, I don't really know what to do here. They're going to be your advocate. They're going to help to explain things as they come along, and they're going to be there to support you. So I had a daddy doula, which was Brian, and he went to all the classes with me, so he did know how to support me. We talked about prior to the birth, like what things that I wanted him to do, what things I didn't want him to do. And honestly, guys, with the water being in that, he didn't have to do too much once I got in there. So, but a doula will come and they'll, you know, help take some of the weight of the baby off, and they'll massage your back while you're having a contraction, or just talk you through contractions. And they're kind of like your coach. Like if you were working out or something like that, they're your coach there to help you get through this and to come out on the other side happy and doing the things that you had set out to do, which hopefully is still a natural childbirth. Another thing is to, wherever you are, make the space so comfortable for you. So for me, I wanted dim lights. I didn't want the bright lights on. It was just too much. It was kind of like if you have a migraine, like you don't want those bright lights shining, you don't want loud music, you don't want loud people talking. You just kind of want to go into that reclusive space in your head where you can relax and just kind of focus on what you need to be doing. So for me, I did low lights. We did some Christian music in the background. That was just kind of soft Christian music. We diffused essential oils, and I can't remember exactly what essential oils that we diffused, but there are so many that can help you just kind of relax. I think we definitely did lavender, but I'm not really sure about the other ones. So pick something that, you know, really calms you down, that you like the scent of. I know for me, I ended up getting nauseous during the transition and throwing up. So make sure that you have trash can nearby, and you know, just things like that. If you're doing it at home, your midwife is probably gonna know all of these things. But maybe if you're in a hospital, you might want to maybe bring a pillow from home, or your own diffuser, or set your playlist of music that you like that's gonna help get you through this. Some people like really loud, like motivating music, like workout music. Some people like more calm, like spa music. For me, I wanted like Christian music because that was where I was drawing my strength from, and prayers and things like that. So just pick what goes best for you, that's going to get you through this. It's going to help you focus and push you through to the next contraction, or even pushing your child out. So the last thing I want to talk about to help prepare you is like after you've given birth to your child. This one I was not prepared for at all. I prepared my mind mentally for the actual labor and delivery, and then it kind of like stopped right there. I didn't really prepare my mind for how I was going to feel afterwards. And I know everybody feels different. Some people can pop right up and they're fine, they feel great. For me, I felt like I'd been hit by a train. I was weak. I could barely stand up. I had to have help getting from the bed to the bathroom, and it was really mentally confusing to me because I continued to work out through my entire pregnancy, so I felt like I was going to be strong, but it's like running a marathon and trying to do something normal right after that. So it's, take the time to recover, have people there that are going to be there to support you. If you have to hire somebody to clean your house, do it. If you have to ask your husband to take off work for 2 weeks and save money up for that, then do that as well. I know at the end of a week, like I almost had a panic attack that Brian, with the thought of Brian going back to work, I wasn't ready. At the end of 2 weeks, I was okay. I was okay to be by myself, but so talk with your spouse, like what do you feel like is going to be the most helpful for you with recovery, and maybe you need to have your mom or a sister or somebody come stay with you just to help, you, because your child is going to depend on you, especially if you're nursing, to do all of that, and so you may need some help to get the rest of the stuff done. So don't forget about after the birth, because that was something that I forgot about or didn't even think about really, and thankfully I had so much support and so much help that I was able to get through that. But I just felt like I would have been better prepared had I actually given it some thought and planned on who could do what for me to help. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below if you've ever had a natural childbirth. Maybe I left out something that you feel like would be helpful for other mothers. And if you are new and you haven't given natural childbirth before, and maybe that's your plan on doing that, definitely check out the comment section below. That may help you with other things as well. And I'll be sure to comment back if you guys comment. I love reading your comments. And if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe, and make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.